Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back once again to Stable B. We're here for a product review today. We're gonna be talking about something that is very special to me. Not really, it's not that crazy, just a helmet. We'll talk about it here in a second, but it is a helmet that I love. We're gonna talk about it, mostly pros, a couple cons, price point, why I like it, why I think everyone should consider it, or if you're already looking at it, give you some answers on that. Before we get started, you gotta click the subscribe button down below and you gotta throw a like on the video. And if you have any questions about the helmet, while we're getting into it, we'll go ahead and show it to you. It's right here. Icon Airframe Pro in the classic Warbird paint scheme, color scheme, whatever you want to call it. Have any questions about it that I don't cover in this video, please hit me up down in the comments or over on Instagram at JKMoto Podcast. If you're wondering why I'm wearing the same shirt, I'll let you in on the secret. We're filming back to back. Got a lot of ideas we're putting out, so if you see me in the same shirt for a few videos, just understand it was a couple different ideas and I didn't change shirts in between because this is real life and I'm not gonna fake it to you guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this helmet review, the Icon Airframe Pro, specifically Warbird paint scheme. All right, this is the Icon Airframe Pro Warbird paint scheme. This paint scheme came out a long time ago. I'm really sad about it because this is very out of date now and I can't wear it anymore and it makes me sad. Schemes of all time. Hopefully you guys saw that in the montage that we did at the beginning, but it's not just about the paint scheme. I do think that that's important for a helmet. I think everyone should like their helmet, like the design and everything like that, but that's not the purpose of this. We're going to talk about the mechanics of this helmet and why I like it so much. Why I do think you should at least add it to your list of reasoning. The first thing we're going to talk about, got to get it out of the way, is the price. This is not a showy, it's not an Arai, it's not a whatever, I don't even know. I don't own expensive helmets, so not quite that, but it's not a $50, I'm not gonna say brand, but not a $50 motorcycle helmet either. It comes in just under 400 bucks, I think at $390. Anyway, it comes in just under $400. We'll have the price right there. And one of the things I like about Icon that I also hate, before we get into the actual mechanics, but their paint schemes. They change their paint schemes up all the time. They usually have, you know, a couple different ones for each helmet model. They'll have a couple different designs out and they're changing all the time, which is cool, except that like when you find one that you personally really like, you only get it for a few years and then it's gone. And then it has to go sit on your wall. So we'll get this hung on the wall here soon, but check out the paint schemes. I think Icon does a pretty good job of making stuff pretty cool. Let's get into the mechanics. All right, so if you get on Icon's website, it kind of goes through all this. And if you've read it before, I'm gonna repeat a little bit of what they said and give my like real life experience. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is venting, because I think venting is very important, both street and track. And this is gonna be a pro and a con for this helmet. So the pro side is there's a ton of venting. The con is there's a ton of venting. Let me explain. So we have vents here, these two guys up here on the front. Hopefully you can kind of see those on the top. And then this one down here, those are all openable and shuttable, and those aren't real words, but whatever. You have intakes here, and then you have a couple exhausts in the back. So this helmet has a ton of airflow in it, and especially these two guys on the top here, you open those up out on a racetrack, even when you're fully tucked in, leaned over, it's coming straight down and hitting you like almost directly in the eyeballs. Amazing. Like, you won't get too hot in it. We'll go over the interior in a little bit also. They got the sweet sweat wicking stuff, but that mixed with this amazing airflow that's in here, plenty cool enough. Every helmet's gonna get hot. If you're riding in 110 degree weather, every helmet's gonna get hot. This one does exceptionally well at venting very, very well. That's the pro, it's great. Airflow is good. If you're out on the street and you ride without earplugs, you're gonna hate it because it is super noisy. I did that once. I like forgot my earplugs or something like that. I was like, whatever, just take it, go ride, use this helmet. Very noisy because there's a lot of airflow. So if you're looking for something that's super quiet, not the helmet for you, but if you want really good airflow and you wear earplugs out on the track anyway because it's super loud out there, great helmet, good airflow. Second thing we're gonna talk about is the shape. So it's got what they call the intermediate oval shape. So you would have an oval, intermediate oval, and a like round, non-oval at all. Intermediate oval is pretty sweet because it kind of gives you that nice sharp motorcycle helmet look still, while giving you the functionality of the just round helmet. Also good aerodynamics. The reason that I picked this helmet up and what I like about it so much is how well it works with a race suit. When you're at a full tuck or you're looking through a corner or whatever, the first thing we're gonna talk about is the spoiler in the back here. This does really well at directing that air back and over your speed hump on your jacket. The other thing is I used to have a long elongated oval helmet and my speed hump back here would get in the way of moving my helmet back and forth. On a racetrack, if you're doing track days or racing, you know how important it is to be able to have the full movement of your head so you can see where you're going. That's like key, very important. So they have this cut in the back, which is beautiful because it gives you plenty of room back here, plenty of like upper neck clearance to be able to move your head back and forth and actually see where you're going, because you're not stuck getting bumped against that speed bump on the back of the jacket. So I'd say this shape is awesome. It's great. I haven't had any like crazy turbulence or anything like that where it kind of like buffers and throws you back. It doesn't throw you sideways when a wind gust comes across the side. Very good in that way. The exhaust vents and intake vents definitely help with that also, taking the air in rather than just moving it around the helmet. So very good there. Next point we'll talk about is the field of vision on the screen. I don't have, like I've never really met a helmet that had bad field of vision, but I've heard people talk about it before. I don't have a terrible to compare it to. If you have experience with this helmet, let me know down in the comments if it is actually bad, but in my personal opinion, field of vision, nice and wide. You can definitely get quite a bit of peripheral in there still. Most of the time out on the track, you're gonna be moving your head more because you want the bike to follow your head. And so like, I don't find myself often needing a ton of peripheral, but I've never had a problem. I think it does good there. The windscreen's nice and wide, pretty easy to flip up. There's also a good lock mechanism down on the bottom there. Icon also does have pull-offs, I forget exactly, rip-offs, so you can put the screen on there. This helmet is good for that. You can use them on here, absolutely. And they talk about how like easy it is to change out your shield. I don't know, never done it. Well, I did it once, but I'm not a guy that like changes it out every day. But apparently their mechanism's pretty easy for that. Can't speak to it, besides I think every helmet is annoying, but it makes sense because it's gotta stay in there. So anyway, last thing we gotta talk about is the interior. So it does have this hydro dry, great stuff. They talk about how like great it is on their website, sweat wicking and all that great stuff. I didn't wash this helmet for quite a while before I finally took everything out and washed it. Supposed to hand wash it, so how I did that was just soaking it in warm soapy water with a little bit of vinegar. Vinegar helps get rid of that smell. But I will say that there hasn't really ever been a super bad lingering smell in there. And that hydro dry, like it does dry up very quickly, and it also does, like it's still ventilated really well. So all that air that comes through, you can definitely feel it moving all the way around your head. I like it a lot. The interior is better than other cheaper helmets I've had. I wouldn't say it's like this crazy amazing, doesn't ever get wet. If you're out doing track days, racing, helmet's gonna get wet because you're gonna be sweaty. That's okay, we kind of all understand that. But very easy to clean. Like I said, I stuffed in the bucket, let it soak, and then dried it out. I cleaned up fine, didn't leave a nasty smell afterward at all. Those are the points I have about the helmet. Once again, Icon Airframe Pro, just want to do a quick review on it. I do think it's great. It's got a good shape. The reason I bring that up is that when you're doing track days, your helmet shape does play a big role. I think a lot of people don't talk about that often, but if you have a long oval helmet or a modular or a short one or one that's not built the best for airflow, and not just airflow for venting, but also airflow around the helmet and around you and your suit and all that, it doesn't do very well. This is a helmet that isn't your like MotoGP replica that'll cost you 1,500 bucks, and it still meets all those wickets. Works really well for racing and doing track days. So that is all I have to say about the Icon Airframe Pro. If you're interested, I'll have a link for them down in the description. You can go check them out. If not, well, I'm not sponsored by Icon or this helmet, so I'm not too worried about it. Just wanted to give you guys the info. Appreciate you being here and watching. Hope to see you in the next video, so we'll see you then.